G'day footy fans and welcome to my AFL Fantasy Dream Team podcast. Today I'm looking at round 7. So my round 6 trades last week were basically Beams out, who's got an injury for Yo, West Coast Eagles of course, who's a dual position player, and Jared Pickett, who hasn't played for a couple of weeks for Carlton, for Myers, who's come in for Essendon, who's a mature age midfielder who has averaged 80 in the past. So my attitude now for trades, my advice to you is bring in ideally one gun or guy that can get 100. And Yo has scored massive scores before in the past, of up to 150 even. And Myers, of course, has had a big average in the past and is a mature age. So they're the sorts of players to go for at this point. Young guys, be careful unless they're really, really cheap. Myers is 197 rather than 150. But same as Pickett, and obviously a lot more experienced, and is playing this week for Essendon. Now, that leaves my forward line with the following, and last week was disappointing. Clay Smith was the most disappointing, played against a tough side as a sort of small forward. It was a bad get by me, I probably got that wrong, but anyway. So I've got Dowhouse, Bradley Hill, Jack Steele, Hoskin Elliott, who got a big score, Smith and Black, and I've got Butler emergency, so it's not too bad, but obviously Smith let me down last week, and Black had a much quieter game. So moving on to my midfield, Treloar was my captain, obviously only got 82. Dangerfield 76, I don't think he's 100% right after a big hit. Shuey 110, Gaff 109, Fife 64. Elliot Yo, who's come in, obviously got 152, but I didn't get that. Myers didn't play, and Crouch, who got 83. And McGrath's been rested, but I've got Ballach emergency with 91. Now my rucks are Martin and Bruce. Bruce is not supposed to play, and I've got Longer emergency. Not ideal having Longer. He's been a bit down. He's playing GWS, but I'm stuck with him. So if Bruce does play, then I'd rather have his score than Longer's. And in my defence, Adams, Johannesson, Jones, solid. Lloyd, who came out of my midfield in a swap with the resting Essendon player, McGrath. Hampton, who was a bit down last week, and Newman. And again, if Newman doesn't play because he's emergency, I've got Otten, emergency, who got 88, but I still aren't convinced that Otten's going to get a big score every week with Jenkins back. And of course, the defence with the Crows having all three key defenders back as well, so Otten's sort of a floater. So my team looks a little bit better. I had a disappointing week last week, I'll be honest, and I only got 1923, and I've dropped back a little bit from the leaders, so I'm ranked 14,000th, which is very disappointing. Now, some advice for you are this week, a couple of cheap guys playing. A guy called Shear from Gold Coast, who's 150 mid. So you could consider him, but please put him on your bench, not on your field. It's a huge risk. Obviously, Myers, there he is, on your midfield. Feel free to put him on the field. And otherwise, players Kobe Much is an emergency for Essendon. We don't know he's in the 25-man squad. So if he does get in the team, then put him in. I think he's in the high 100 or maybe even early 200s. But Myers is the one I would go for here. Make sure you've got an emergency in each area just in case, except for your rucks, of course, because you don't know. Make Bruce emergency. But the one thing you need to start focusing on, guys, is when your teams have a bye. So what you want to start thinking about is teams that have byes in round 11, 12 and 13. And you want to make sure you've got a few guys having a bye in each of those rounds 11, 12 and 13. You don't want to end up with 12 guys having a bye in round 11 because that means you'll be stuffed for that round. What they do in rounds 11 and 12 and 13 is they do take your best 18 scores out of your 22 that you have on the field, but you want to make sure you've probably only got 8 or 9 not playing that round, so you've still got 21 or 22. So start thinking about that now. And the one that's interesting is round 12 byes, because there's only 4 byes in that round, whereas in rounds 11 and 13, 6 teams have a bye, so they're more balanced. So make sure you've got a few round 12 bye guys, otherwise you're going to be really lopsided in the other 2 rounds. And they are, in round 12, Geelong, North Melbourne, Richmond and West Coast. So I deliberately brought in a West Coast player this week, Yo, because I don't have a lot of round 12 bye guys. But of course, now I've got 3 West Coast midfielders, I just realised. But I think across my whole team, I could improve in that area. The other thing you can do in the bye rounds, guys, is make 3 trades in rounds 11, 12 and 13. That'll help you. But still start thinking about it now. Start writing down when your byes are. And try and get every guy in your squad playing. If they can all be playing in those bye rounds, it gives you more flexibility, and have some dual position players, of course, in every area. So I've got, some defender mids, some mid forwards, and obviously you need ideally one ruck forward, which I've got with Hunter, and I need to get a forward ruck, maybe Nankervis when he comes back from suspension. Good luck, guys. I drop back, see how I go this week. Don't forget to do match days. That's a bit of fun. Have fun, and bye for now.